Oh, Howie lied. You don't say. Hey guys, this is Jules with True Crime Reactions. Disclaimer. Everything stated in this video is my opinion and my opinion only. And just like everything else in these cases we discuss here on this channel, everything is alleged. I want to say thank you to Danny for letting me know that Bryan Inton actually has an update on the whole Kohberger Ramsland boo-boo that Howard Blum whatever came out talking about in his latest lame-ass excuse of an article about the Idaho student murder case. If you guys didn't see my very much requested review of that article, it looks like this, and the link for it will be down in the description box. Now, Bryan Inton posted a 3.5 minute or so video over on Twitter. That's where I found this. Danny did leave me the statement, but I like to go straight to the source. Again, I thank you very much, because whenever the interview on the interview room with Christy and Steve Goncalves started last night, I was out to dinner with the kids. So I got a bunch of comments and a bunch of emails, but by the time that wrapped up and we got home, I had other things to do. So I'm listening to that one this morning. I will have a review video out for that one probably this evening, unless a new document drops, because remember, we have a sealed hearing today. I think I know what it might be about, but I'm not going to say anything because I could very well be extremely off the mark when it comes to what I think today might be about. Today is, again, May the 5th. Cinco de Mayo, have all the tacos and margaritas your little heart's desire. That's crazy. Cinco de Mayo right before a Taco Tuesday, that's a freaking double win. Does that mean that Taco Tuesday is going to hit on Cinco de Mayo next year? You know what? That's my fat talking. Let's just continue. Anywho, just to recap, Howard Blum, whatever, came out here claiming that Katherine Ramsland, who is one of Bryan Kohberger's old professors, has been in constant contact with him, with the family, that she's trying to give them a whole bunch of advice on what to do, that she's been in communications with Bryan before and after the crimes, and even so much detail as to say that the Kohbergers have invited her to stay with them at the Airbnb that is apparently being reserved for the family of Bryan Kohberger by Ann Taylor, who most of you guys know is his defense attorney. There were even a few things said about a sister doing something. This guy's information is normally incorrect because no one speaks to him directly. No one speaks to him directly. And up until very recently, the Goncalveses and Howie had a bad relationship and they didn't like each other, or at least Steve didn't like Howie. But now there's things going on in the background with them two doing things together. But you know what? That's not what this video is about. Y'all are going to hear all about that in my other review videos regarding the interviews that I still have to catch up on. But again, the most recent one with them two from the interview room will be out tonight, Monday night, again, unless something document-wise, case-wise actually drops, and then I'll be catching up on the ones over on Drunk Turkey, and where Steve apparently let a bunch of information out over on Ashley Banfeld's little personal channel that she has. Trust me, I know I'm behind, but your girl busy. Okay, I'm going to stop running my mouth. Let's pop Bryan Inton up on the screen and see what Ramsland actually has to say about all of this crazy stuff. Okay, so I'm going to let him talk. I sort of like moved the bar over and saw where the statement came from. So I'm going to let him say whatever he says in this until he gets to the statement, and then I am going to read the statement off the screen.
Hey guys, I hope everybody's doing well. I wanted to get on here and address something. It seems like as we get closer to the Bryan Kohberger trial, there's been more and more speculation and rumors and just bad facts in certain articles.
Sir, okay, I know that you're about to come out and you're going to correct Howard Blum whatever about his boo-boo, but you are not innocent. You are not innocent, especially all that bullshit you've been spewing over there on the CW. Let's be so for real right now.
That are out there, and I wanted to talk about something in particular. There was an article that was published recently about Dr. Katherine Ramsland, and if you've been following, you know Dr. Ramsland is a professor at DeSales University in Pennsylvania. She was Bryan Kohberger's professor when he was getting his master's degree in criminology when he was in Pennsylvania, before he went to Washington State University where he was getting his PhD. And we've known that.
Yeah.
And this article claims, among many things, that Dr. Ramsland has been in touch with Bryan Kohberger even recently while he's in jail. And a bunch of other things too, that she's been close with the family, and it speculates that that a motive could possibly be that Bryan Kohberger was trying to impress Dr. Ramsland. I know.
Saw that look on his face whenever he said that. It's funny how he can come out here and throw all of these very, very reaching things out there and say a bunch of things that aren't true and actually help in the blue pilling of the IgG information regarding the FBI. Again, if you guys haven't seen the review video that I did about the CW stuff that they're doing, it looks like this, and it literally is the blue pill event. This is them literally talking about the IgG. They talk about how IgG was being done and that there was like a family but no specific person. And it jumps from that to now they're digging in Bryan Kohberger's parents' trash can. Never mind the fact that in between that family tree that didn't lead to anyone in that trash picking event in Pennsylvania, there was a phone call to Moscow on December 19th that literally gave them Bryan Christopher Kohberger's name specifically. So he's a part of that. He can come out here again and say all he wants to, but he's just as responsible for the bullshit.
No, Dr. Ramsland. Okay, so I'm going to be totally upfront about that. I've gotten to know her over the last several years. I've interviewed her for stories. I've always found her to be a very, very credible, nice, honest person. And she has told me that she doesn't want to talk on the record about Bryan Kohberger. So she's told me all along until after the trial because she might be a witness. She doesn't want to interfere with the trial.
See, and I mentioned that too. There is a possibility that she does end up being a witness, but only because she was his professor. We have to remember here, they are placing in one of his homework assignments from DeSales University as part of evidence about how he knew how to navigate a crime scene. Now, granted, this paper is about how to navigate a crime scene as the problem solver, not the problem maker. It literally is something that maybe Moscow PD could have learned a great deal from. We've seen so many issues, just the surface things that we've seen. There has been so many issues. And if you go back and actually read the entirety of this homework paper that Bryan Kohberger wrote, yeah, Moscow could definitely learn a thing or two. Let's be serious.
Obviously knew Bryan Kohberger. She was his professor. She is saying but she is now talking on the record about some of this to me because she is saying that what is in this article is not true. And I'm going to read you what Dr. Ramsland texted me.
Okay, this is what she had to say. I had no email correspondence with Bryan Kohberger while he was at WSU. He has not been in touch with me since his arrest. I called his parents as a gesture of kindness, but I do not advise them about the case. I did not call them hours after the arrest, as Blum claims. I have never talked to his sister about any book. I never mentioned Kierkegaard in my classes. I did not broker anything regarding a lawyer. I have not been invited by the Kohbergers to Idaho. I don't know where they'll be staying. I don't know who Blum whatever source is and why he reports information for which he has no proof. Honey, we've been asking the exact same thing. We feel you.
So again, I know Dr. Ramsland. I have no reason not to believe her. And I don't think she's lying, and I don't think the article is correct. And I just wanted to put that out there. And I think I want to correct things as we get closer to the trial.
I'm sure you do.
So I'm actually going to Boise tomorrow. Nothing to do with the Bryan Kohberger trial, for a different story.
Okay, I'm going to close this off. Yeah, that'd be kind of pointless for him to, and again, this was posted yesterday at around 7 p.m. on May the 4th. So it would be pointless for him to be in Boise for the 5th because the hearing is closed and it's remote session. So no one's going to be in the courtroom, besides Hitler. So who do you guys think is telling the truth? I believe that Howie is a liar and that Katherine Ramsland is most likely being honest here. Again, no one that is actually involved in this situation talks to Howard Blum, at least not until recently. And the only reason I say that, and most of you guys know that, is because Howard Blum came out and did an interview with Megyn Kelly a few months ago and said that the Goncalves' lawyer, Shannon Gray, reached out to him about them working together on something with Netflix. He was talking about the movies and these things that are being done in the background when it comes to putting something on the screen regarding the Idaho case. And Steve apparently wanted to work with him. And that's never been refuted once. And Steve has also mentioned Howard Blum in recent interviews. But we also know that Howard and Steve have not gotten along. We have proof in text message form from people on social media that have been verified to have some sort of connection to Steve Goncalves, where Steve Goncalves is talking down about Howard Blum. So this 180 is sort of surprising, but then again, not really, because we've sort of known the back end intentions of the Goncalves family specifically for a while now. Now, we can feel sorry for the fact that they lost their daughter while still calling out their behavior. That's what people with normal adult brains do. You can do both things, and it's not a bad thing. It's actually doing them service because it puts everything in true perspective, which is something that a lot of people seem to just like not care about. You know, reality matters, guys. But let me know how you guys feel about this lie that came out and how Katherine Ramsland was quick to come out and be like, no, that is not true. I believe her. I don't think that she would put her entire career on the line for just some student. And there's no proof that he was ever anything more to her but some student, just like thousands of others in her career. Let's be serious. So unless they have actual proof that he's some sort of like sickly obsessed with her and he did all this stuff just to get her attention, which I doubt, I don't know how this isn't a lawsuit. Because what Howie just came out and did is put a bunch of responsibility on Ramsland for the reason that this actually happened. And that's not fair. It's not right. And he's basically trying to act as if she's got some sort of weird relationship going on in the background. And that could be detrimental to her career because some people are going to listen to this, they're going to take it, and they're going to run. Now, whenever I went over this article review, I said, hey, if she is talking to Bryan, maybe she thinks that he's guilty and she's trying to just get a one-up on getting a book out because we know that she writes books and does research on people like this. But it doesn't sound like that's the case. It sounds like she doesn't really want to have anything to do with anything when it comes to this because she had a connection prior to this even being a situation because she was his professor. And she's doing the right thing, honestly, by standing back, regardless of if she ends up being some sort of witness or not. But again, I want to know how you guys feel about this down in the comments. If you like the way that I present this information and give my opinion, please don't forget to leave a like on the way out. Subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed already. And please don't forget to make sure that that notification bell is set to all so you don't miss any of my rants, reviews, reactions, updates, or deep dives. See y'all.